All right, folks, before we dive into today's absolute masterpiece of insanity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want more of these clickbait confessions, because trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Now, let's get into it. This story comes from deep within the bowels of Reddit, and let me tell you, it is peak human stupidity wrapped in a 5-tier fondant-covered disaster. This one's about a wedding, a mother-in-law from hell, and the most absurd cake heist in history. You heard me. We're talking about grand theft wedding cake. Picture it. A beautiful wedding, New York skyline in the distance, hundreds of guests, a bride and groom who painstakingly planned every single detail down to the last damn ribbon. Everything is perfect. The decorations, flawless. The music, a chef's kiss of romance. And the cake? Oh, the cake. This wasn't just any cake. It was a work of art. A custom-made 5-tier gourmet cake, painstakingly crafted by a high-end bakery. Layers of soft sponge, rich ganache, delicate sugar flowers. This cake belonged in a museum. It had security detail levels of importance at the wedding. Now, if you've ever planned a wedding, you already know that someone, a rogue aunt, a bitter cousin, maybe even a distant friend of a friend, is always going to make things weird. But in this case, it wasn't some distant relative. It was the bride's mother. Now, this woman, we'll call her Mother of the Year, had issues, and I mean big issues. She was not happy about how little control she had over this wedding. See, the bride and groom, they were paying for everything themselves. They weren't taking handouts, weren't letting anyone meddle, and definitely weren't letting the drama queen mother call the shots. And she hated that. But instead of just accepting that maybe for once something wasn't about her, she decided to make the wedding her personal stage for an Oscar-worthy meltdown. It all started during the photos. The photographer was trying to capture those sweet once-in-a-lifetime moments, the bride glowing, the groom beaming, friends and family celebrating, and then, bam, Mother of the Year shoves herself front and center, demanding that her side of the family gets photographed first, like some kind of wedding dictatorship. People are just standing there blinking in disbelief like, lady, you know this isn't your wedding, right? But she's not taking no for an answer. She wants full priority, and she is not moving until her demands are met. The bride, an actual saint, lets it slide because, hey, it's just pictures. They can work around it. Little did she know this was just the warm-up act to what would become one of the greatest wedding catastrophes in history. Because after making the photos all about herself, Mother of the Year decides that's not enough attention for one day. Oh no, she needs more, and that's when she locks eyes with the cake. Now, remember, this cake isn't just dessert. This cake is an event, a monument to baking perfection. It's the crown jewel of this wedding. And for reasons that defy all logic, this woman looks at it and goes, I'm taking that. Like she's Ocean's 11, the damn thing. Now, I don't know what kind of brain chemistry malfunction has to happen for someone to look at a 5-tiered wedding cake and think, I should steal that. But that's exactly what she did. Now, how does one steal a cake at a wedding with hundreds of witnesses? Well, the answer is very, very badly. She sneaks up to the cake table like a goddamn raccoon, looking left, looking right, making sure the coast is clear. She grabs the entire stand and just starts dragging it away like some cartoon villain. I need you to picture this. A grown-ass woman in a full formal gown stealing a wedding cake in front of God and everybody. But here's where it gets even more. Not only is she trying to steal it, but she brought a replacement, a sheet cake that she bought at a grocery store. Now, I'm sorry, there's petty, and then there's Hadar. I brought my own knockoff cake to swap out so I could escape with the good one. That is psychopath behavior. And of course, she does not get far, because just as she's about to make her great escape, a groomsman catches her in the act. Imagine this man's pure confusion. He walks over like, what are you doing? And she looks him dead in the eye and says, I'm taking this cake home. I didn't get to have a say in anything else, so I should at least get the cake. Excuse me, ma'am? That is not how weddings work. So now this groomsman is standing there trying to process the sheer audacity of what's happening. and she's just standing there, still holding the cake stand, waiting for him to just let her leave. Spoiler alert, he does not let her leave. The groomsman calls over the bride, who, by some miracle, does not commit a crime right then and there. Instead, she tells her mother, "You put that cake back or you are leaving this wedding immediately." Now, Mother of the Year does not take that well. Oh no, she flips out, screaming, crying, throws a full tantrum in public, and then she leaves. She literally storms out, leaves the wedding, and sits in her car pouting for the rest of the night. But wait, there's more. Because when she gets home, she starts texting people. She's messaging every single wedding guest about how her daughter humiliated her, how selfish the bride was for not letting her have the entire goddamn wedding cake. And the best part, nobody sides with her. She thought she'd get sympathy. Instead, she got roasted. Family members start blocking her. Friends clown on her in the group chat. Screenshots make their way to Reddit. And now, she's immortalized. The internet never forgets, my friends. And to this day, if you Google Lush wedding cake heist, her legacy still lives on. So what's the moral of this story? 1, if you don't get your way at a wedding, maybe don't try to steal the cake. 2, if you ever feel the urge to do something insane, remember, the internet is watching. 3, if you pull a stunt this stupid, Reddit will turn you into a legend. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. Because trust me, the internet never runs out of insanity.